Don't ask me why I did it. It seemed like a good idea at the time. There were no other amusements or games to play to pass the night away. Don't ask me why I did it. I must have been lonely, stupid, or blind. But I know that it seemed like a good idea at the time. It was 3 a.m. in the casino. I was feeling like the sportsman of the year. So I blew a little money on the roulette wheel, and I taught myself to play chemin de feu. Don't ask me why I did it. It seemed like a good idea at the time. There were no other amusements or games to play to pass the night away. Don't ask me why I did it. I must have been lonely, stupid, or blind. But I know that it seemed like a good idea at the time. As the dawn came round on Monte Carlo, I had lost the car and safe deposit key. The country house in Switzerland was mine no more, and the gendarme at the door said, c'est la vie. Don't ask me why I did it. I must have been lonely, stupid, or blind. But I know that it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Greetings and welcome to yet another Sunday service. As many of you, I'm sure, have noticed, I love music. And I love songs and what they say, their titles, and just how they feel in general. And one of my songs that I always said that is my Sagittarius song was done by Mike Batt. And it is called It Seemed Like a Good Idea at the Time. What a magical title. And never mind the title. He goes on to say, don't ask me why I did it. I must have been lonely, stupid, or blind, but I know that it seemed like a good idea at the time. I just love that because it is such a reflection of some of the things that I've done in my life. I've been around the block a few times, to be honest, and quite a bit of what I was experiencing there was wonderful. Were choices that I made, and I made some pretty good choices, but my goodness, did I make a few that were relatively questionable, relatively risky, relatively mind-blowing crazy. But it seemed like a good idea at the time. In fact, there were times when it didn't seem like anything. I was hook, line, and sinker in the middle of some of these situations and decisions before I even realized it. Because I do tend to do things quite spontaneously. So I would find myself in a situation and think afterwards, What was I doing? But when I look back at that, I have to realize that the chances that I would not do the same are very slim. Every single choice I made, every path I went down, taught me something, gave me something. So, quite honestly, I simply refuse to reject the life that formed in me. Because all of that contributed to who I am today. No regrets does not mean that every choice was wise. Most definitely not. That every choice was harmless or right. I mean, there is no way I am going to spend the rest of my life wishing away situations that I had found myself in. Circumstances, relationships, jobs. So many things came to me through all of that. It's one of those things where I can honestly say, I made some choices that hurt me. Very definitely. And that hurt me quite badly, but it made me stop and look at things. Did it do it immediately? Oh no. Oh no. It's only been after I've done a lot of work that I can now look back at all of that. I've always said no regrets. I will have no regrets. In fact, if I had the money, I would have paid Edith Piaf to do it on my behalf. But fortunately, she did so free of charge. Because I've never had regrets, but I've often thought, why did I do that? I made some choices that hurt other people. People that I imagine I should have apologized to. In some instances, I did. And in some instances, I offered apology without even being present and without them knowing it. But there are things that one can do on a spiritual level that will bring closure to yourself and the other people involved. Some of my so-called good ideas were spectacularly misguided. And I'm very good at getting people to come along with me. So not always were I going down different and questionable paths, but I very often had others going down the paths with me. The big thing is that when we make choices, decisions, when we do things that are really regrettable, we have to own up to them. And when you have no regrets, there's a sense of you being maybe sometimes shallow, selfish, callous, even though that was not at all what you intended to be. Because we all make mistakes. We all live in a world of our own where sometimes we carry on with life and we don't stop to look at what we've done. It's only much later in life when you stumble across a personal development facilitator or a psychologist or psychiatrist, or maybe a parent or a teacher, I personally think some of our biggest lessons are learned or are brought back for learning when we meet somebody special. It's very often through those people. And discussing relationships, experiences, and things like that with them, that we can look back on our lives and say, this and this and this I regret, or that made me the person that I am today, or, I maybe should not have done that, or I should have done it differently. It's when we get to those stages that we kind of bring it home. We bring all the little bits of ourselves that we have put out there. We start collecting it all. We start having to move from one point of view or one place to another. And then things change for us. And it is true that many of us have regrets whilst growing up. And that's really not necessarily a healthy place. And we need to take a bit of time out and apply a bit of compassion so that we can find healing in those times. That's a good thing, though. It is really a good thing. I remember when I found out I was pregnant with my son. Oh my goodness. That was like a 10-pound hammer that hit me. Here I was, having been told I would never be able to have children. And this little MacGyver showed up on my doorstep. When I got the news, I immediately lit a peppermint cigarette. Never have I smoked in my life. But that was going to be a peppermint cigarette. I remember my dogs eating up the packet of cigarettes that was left. I remember lighting it and probably smoking 4 drags of it. And when I look back at that time, I think the only thing I regretted was the cigarette. Everything else was part of my great design. Our choices are part of the great design. We choose them because we need their lessons. We choose them because we need their growth. And we choose them because we want to spread our wings. And sometimes, just sometimes, we need to spread our wings so much further and wider in order for us to grow further and stand taller, to expand our consciousness, to expand all that we are. Yes, it's true. There are times when I thought I must have been lonely, stupid, or blind, but I wasn't. I made every single choice I did with the underpinned knowledge that whatever I do is going to be dangerous. It has the potential to be, but it need not be. I know that I was not brilliant, and I know that you were not. But this concept is one that I would always live by. The fact that no matter what happened, it turned me into the person, or it allowed me to become the person that I am today. I will never have regrets. That is such a waste of time. I would rather spend my day dreaming, resting, and making peace on a deep, deep soul level with anyone I have ever loved, touched and influenced. And it is my deepest prayer and my deepest wish that if I was maybe one of their poor or bad choices, they will find it within their hearts to turn those into lessons and to forgive me too. My affirmation for today is as follows. Every choice I make is made in full consciousness of my relationship with God. Beloved Father, Mother God, we thank you for another day. We thank you for another opportunity to come before you and to talk to you about all the things that we have in our lives, everything that makes us happy, and the ability to turn that which we regret or which we may have regretted into lessons, into gold, into something that not only makes us a better person, but something that will also help to bring us closer to you as we learn just how powerful these exercises, opportunities, choices are for the growth of our souls. We thank you for your love, your wisdom, and your guidance every single day in our lives, and for the grace which you so graciously bestow upon us. Thank you again. Amen.
Don't ask me why I did it. It seemed like a good idea at the time. There were no other amusements or games to play to pass the night away. Don't ask me why I did it. I must have been lonely still.